Well, let's regain some decorum here, Chris, because when they won those titles in that random drawing tag team tournament not too long ago, it was obvious that they were unwitting opponents to begin. They partners rather, they turned into unwilling throughout that tournament, of course leading Skyler to attack Manning after that matchup. And ever since then, Skyler has just been playing mind games with his own partner, leaving him to defend, as you said, by himself on several occasions.
Well, look, there was some discussion about whether or not how many real tag teams there were in PWX, whether it's one, whether it's two. John Skyler and Jake Manning are not a real tag team, folks. They haven't teamed together in several months now. John Skyler has been overseas. Jake Manning has had to carry the load entirely by himself. They are not a real team, but they are the PWX Tag Team Champions. And if they want to stay that, they're going to have to work as a team tonight.
Well, Jake Manning, he's proudly held that title. John Skyler, this is going to be the story of the matchup. Will John Skyler be a willing participant in this matchup and help his partner regain those titles? If not, look across the other side of the ring, folks. You could be looking at the new PWX Tag Team Champions. There's the bell. We're underway. We're starting with the champion, Jake Manning, going up against Ethan Case of the worst-case scenario as Tommy Thomas, their management consultant, outside, attempting to get this crowd on their side to no avail.
Jake Manning asking Tommy Thomas to calm down. He'll get the crowd going. Tag anybody rules tonight. Looks like only 2 men in the ring at any given time. You can tag anybody in or out. Of course, you obviously cannot get up where you end up with both of the same team in the ring.
Absolutely not.
So Jake Manning could not tag in, say, Elijah Evans at this point and allow Elijah to pin Ethan or vice versa. That is certainly not allowed. But otherwise, you can tag anybody else. And you got to believe that the champions are at a disadvantage here. We talked about all their problems personally, but in a match where they do not have to be involved in the pinfall at all, this is a disadvantage for them.
Well, you talk about, I don't know if you meant to, but you can't tag in your own partner. I wouldn't be surprised if that would happen, because at least in the corner of the champions, Jake Manning and John Skyler, these two men cannot stand each other. At least when they're going through that tournament, Jake Manning at least tried to be amicable, at least tried to be honorable, at least tried to make this as professional as
And John Skyler kicked Amanda Rodriguez in the face and won the titles for him.
That's very true, and Manning took exception to that. But at the same
Something
time,
I've never understood.
It certainly lowered the opinion of most of the fans here of your Premier Wrestling experience.
Why? She wanted to wrestle. She wanted to wrestle with the men. If you want to wrestle with the men, you got to take it like a big girl.
You're sitting here and you're telling me that a woman half the size, and by the way, did I say a woman got kicked in the face by John Skyler to win that?
Yeah, the same woman who pinned our current ITV champion. She wasn't in there as a woman. She was in there as a competitor for the tag team championship. If he had kicked Ethan Case in the face to win the titles, you wouldn't be sitting here complaining.
You're right, I wouldn't be, because, and yes, Amanda Rodriguez had a great showing in that tournament. And one last point, and we can get back to the match. It's just a level of class, and it's a question of class, it's a question of sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship? They're trying to win championships. Look, I'm not advocating walking around kicking women in the face, but if she wants to get in the ring and fight for that title, would you expect him to just stand there and get beat up by her and give away the championship? No, champions are respected because they win, and sometimes they have to do things that people wouldn't agree with.
Jake Manning is often respected for his in-ring ability and also his strength.
I can talk all day. He's going to hold him up there for a month.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like it's close to a 30-second count with Ethan Case. We talked many times. This is a horrible position for that young man to be in. Jake Manning, ever so confident, goes for the cover. This might be a very short, he does go for the cover. 2, not quite enough to put away the worst case scenario.
Well, that's not going to be enough for Ethan Case and Elijah Evans IV. Look, say what you want about these guys, and they've got bad attitudes, they've got issues.
Look at this, blind tag by John Skyler.
Skyler tags in, blind tag.
Oh, Oh, my.
Oh, and a chop tag there from Heath the Case on to Jay Rios. Our first look at Los Menderos. Welcome back, John Skyler.
Beautiful drop kick to greet him by Jay Rios, the blonde one you see, the one with the dark hair, Jay Cruz, of course. And this is what you're going to see. A lot of this great fast-paced tandem offense by these men. Oh, look out.
Line it up. Oh, it's good from 50, folks.
They're from Mexico. Goal! And almost a 3 count.
In America now. We play football differently here.
Technically, they're not citizens, so, and believe it or not, folks, it is on their Facebook page, Los Menderos' official Facebook page, for real. They admitted that they are ducking the INS to be here tonight.
Now, if John Skyler was smart, he would find his cell phone and he would call INS.
Well, he better make sure his passport is intact, as we've stated earlier. Has spent the last...
As Jake Manning tags himself in now.
Oh, geez. This is a very hostile situation for the returning John Skyler, who's been in England for the last several months, just making his return now to defend these belts, as Elijah Evans IV, going to head on his fellow follically challenged combatant, Jake Manning, who isn't taking this one well.
I know Jake Manning. I've talked to him outside of the ring. I don't think slamming his head into something is going to do real damage to the guy.
Oh, dear. I think... Oh, yep. Well, it might do something to Elijah Evans IV, rearranging his face into that turnbuckle, which in many cases...
Oh, and not down to the second buckle.
In many cases is much harder than hitting your head on the mat if you get enough force in the right angle.
Look at the viciousness of the Man Scout. John Skyler brings out the worst in this guy, doesn't he?
Absolutely, and if he's not careful, this match could end in a disqualification, which might mean that these two men retain the titles, but obviously Mitch Blaylock doesn't want that to happen, so he's letting it slide.
Heath the Case complaining now. I mean, I think he's got a fair point. Called for Skyler to put his butt up, Skyler told him no.
Jake Manning putting the work over, and this is just living proof of how effective that title tournament was. Not only did you get to see the tag team champions form, for better or for worse, but it brought in the talent of Los Dejos, who are now doing some teamwork with the Man Scout Jake Manning.
Well, Jake Manning's showing that he's smarter than the average Cub Scout. Stepping in there and saying, hey, if my partner won't help me, I'll work with who I can. He tags in Jay Cruz now. That's a surprising thing to do. Why would you I understand, you know, he just worked with those guys on Elijah Evans, but why would you tag yourself out and not be in there where you can be an opportunity to retain, in that case, the tag team championships?
Elementary, my dear Short, where the other guys will wear themselves out, and that'll leave, the guys who moves up like this, you're still fresh, you're still aware, you could still break the 3 count, but these are the guys that are going to get gassed.
Eli Evans found his way to the corner.
Not for long, as John Skyler finds himself inside of a spinning head scissors. Here comes Cruz. Oh, wow, this is just...
Well, Jay Cruz and Jay Rios, not big guys. They make up for it in just straight athleticism and speed.
Off of the sliding cross body, almost got a 3 count on it. Continue Shore.
I was just saying, Jay Cruz, Jay Rios, like I said, not the biggest guys in the match at all, but they make up for it in just raw speed. These guys will get to flying around the ring. You try to call moves with these 2 guys in the ring, and you're going to end up behind by 35 minutes. They will leave you in the dust.
Absolutely.
They are fast. They are furious. And look at him fly with that elbow.
Beautiful drop, flying elbow drop.
But now look, the referee's distracted here by the Tommy Thomas.
The Tommy Thomas, if he's not careful, he's going to lose another eye. Heath the Case may have already off that back elbow. And a shot to the stomach to be the equalizer, but look out! Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker by the Southern Savior, who looks like he learned a thing or 3 over in England and almost gets the pinfall.
Boy, John Skyler going over to the UK. It looks like he has used his time over there well. He's come back vicious. He's come back lean, come back strong, and right now stopping a mud hole in Jay Cruz.
Absolutely. John Skyler didn't lose any of his attitude. In fact, may have gained some, but look at him now. He looks a lot, I don't want to say firmer, but he looks looks more cut. He looks more in shape. He obviously was getting his cardio and his weights in while he was over in England.
Yeah, no slouching for the Southern Savior. I'm not surprised about that in the least. This kid wants to make it in this business, wants to be at the top of the card, wants to be champion.
Wow.
And his attitude might leave a little bit to be desired, but you can't argue with the results. He is one half of the tag team champions.
If he was over in England, shouldn't he have given him 2 fingers?
Maybe. He's back in the States. He knows where he belongs.
Okay. Well, Ethan Case, once again, bending the rules as much as humanly possible. And we've talked about this earlier, sure, about the worst case scenarios alignment with the Tommy Thomas. And the Tommy Thomas has obviously brought out a very vicious side of the worst case scenario that we really didn't see out of these guys when they first got here.
No, they got here kind of as singles. They knew each other, but it wasn't until we were able to finally get them together. They worked together as a tag team a couple of times, and they were just kind of here. They were people were starting to talk about them a little bit or whatever, but nothing really major. And then the Tommy Thomas came along, and since then they have skyrocketed to the top. You can say what you want about the guy, as Jake Manning and John Skyler are arguing on the ring apron here.
Relations are further deteriorating between the tag team champions, and right now they're taking their eye off the ball. They can barely stand to be in the same corner.
Yeah, you talked about being fresh and all those sorts of things, and all that stuff's great, Craig, but if you're not in the middle of the ring when the pinfall happens, you're not the tag team champions.
And we could have new ones off of that, but fortunately for Cruz, he manages to get out of the way of that modified belly-to-back suplex throw.
Ethan Case and Elijah Evans showing off their experience as a team together. Both these guys from Alaska did not know each other up in the great northern state, but have found each other since then. I believe you said they found each other in Georgia as well.
They met each other in Georgia many years ago, I believe. I think it was Case that said he was from Anchorage, and from Fairbanks hails Elijah Evans the fourth. I would like to confirm that at some point. Oh wow, this is, look at the fire coming out of Rios.
Evans might have called him a pendejo.
I think it might have been something a little bit worse.
Wait! Silence! It's time! It's the move of the night by the worst case scenario. There it was.
You cut me off for that?
Yes. That's the move of the night. Didn't you hear him announce it?
I've seen hip tosses that were better. Wait, and there's a pinfall. It might have been an effective move, and we could have had new tag team champions off of it, but all for naught.
I love the move of the night. It's always the same move.
Well, their finisher, the finito, is a sight to behold. And out that vertical suplex, a near fall for the worst case scenario.
Jay Cruz and Jay Rios. Well, Jay Cruz right now in trouble. Jay Rios trying to get his partner amped up, get him in there to make a tag. And look, Ethan Case and Elijah Evans have done the exact thing they needed to do. We talked about this a minute ago. Lots of speed in Cruz and Rios. If they have shut them down and made them work a ground game, that's allowed them to be able to separate Jay Cruz on their side of the ring, and now tagging in John Skyler, an interesting move here, bringing in Skyler. Again, I don't understand why you would tag yourself out. Oh! Tag in your partner, that's fine, I understand that, but to tag in another team, you remove yourself from the ability to be involved in the finish of the match.
I don't think that what happened to Rios qualifies as a tag, but what happened to oh wow, look at this.
Oh, here I am, is tagged in now. Here comes Jake Manning, a house of fire.
Huge head of steam from a man scout Jake Manning, earning his marriage badge and chopping down wrestlers. And look at Jake Manning.
We've seen this combo before.
And so at the worst case scenario.
Scouted, yeah.
No pun
Tommy
intended.
Thomas doing a good job there. But Manning up and over, look out here.
And they've seen this one before too. But they walk right into it. We're going to see it. The double clothesline from the top rope. Look out!
Jake Manning is fired up, and Hickory, North Carolina is responding. Is it? Yes, the straps are coming back, Craig.
We could be seeing a pile driver, maybe even that flying head it. We're going to see that pile driver.
Oh, look at this here. He's got Ethan Case. He's got him set up for that hug.
Once again, scouted by Ethan Case. What are we going to see here?
Ethan Case here getting ready to dive, but look out behind you, kid.
Look out behind you. Look to the side. But
Don't make a mistake. There's John Skyler. Slingshot spear, but Skyler, look out.
Rios right behind. Who's legal, Shore?
I have no idea at this point.
Oh, look at this.
Hop out into the Ace Crusher.
Beautiful modified Ace Crusher. Here comes, oh wait, gut wrench into a powerbomb. Oh, he dropped him right on his head.
Jay Rios might be broke.
Oh, wait a minute.
Cruz
getting big time air in Hickory. Huge crossbody block. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. A roll-through slam by the Southern Savior. Oh, wait a minute.
Skyler says it's over. He's going to moonsault, but Ethan Case found him.
Ethan Case, I think we could be seeing something big here from the worst case scenario. Both of them getting up onto the second ropes. This could be trouble.
Oh no, it looks like it's going to be.
Goodness.
Oh wait. Oh, what is this? Oh, what is this? No.
This is going to be brutal.
There's 5 guys on that ring. Look out, Jake Manning. Oh my God. Whoa. A 5-man Tower of Doom. It's carnage in the ring in Hickory.
Tower of Doom. My goodness, that was a tonic that was astronomical. The carnage in the ring. It's a mess of bodies here, and not one of them appear to be poised to gain the PWX Tag Team title.
Manning and Elijah Evans are the legal men. We saw it there, very close to a pinfall.
Oh, wait a minute. I think we've seen this one before. Oh, taking out Tommy Thomas in the process, along with Ethan Case.
Ethan Case and Tommy Thomas absolutely destroyed on the floor by Los Dejos.
Manning thinking. The champion Manning, something we haven't seen out of him going on the top rope.
Manning's going to dive. Manning doesn't dive. Jake Manning doesn't dive. What is he doing here?
Coming off the rope.
What is he doing? Oh, look at his arm scouted. Oh! That's how they run the titles. John Skyler stepping in there, saving Jake Manning's life. Look at him.
That's the legal man. All they got to do is roll him into the ring, and they retain the titles. And what's this?
Jake Manning saying, look, John Skyler saying, I saved you. Come on, now we're tag team champions. That's right. Shake his hand, Jake.
When John Skyler
there you go.
Shake his hand,
now look at this. Look.
Slice bread. Got it. No.
What has John Skyler done? What has he done?
Possibly costing him and Jake Manning the tag team titles, and he appears indifferent to what he has done to his partner. And Eli Evans, no, not this way.
We come out here by heaven. We've got new champions. Scenario of the tag team champions, but because of John
Skyler practically forfeiting the tag team title with the slice bread on Jake Manning, leaving enough damage for Elijah Evans IV to pick up the pinfall and walk out of Hickory, your new PWX Tag Team Champions. I can't say I don't believe it because when Tyler took his hand out, something inside me told me not to trust him.
Tommy Thomas is ecstatic right now. I can't say that I blame him. His team, and I don't want to take away, they wrestled a great match. Yes. They did everything they could to be victorious here, but in the end, you've got to give the assist to John Skyler. And even Rios, Cruz, stunned by what they're seeing here.